How is everyone doing? Good to see all my Australian friends and Canadians and US people. Welcome. So, welcome everyone. We are going to talk today, since some of us started on Clue 4 and some haven't. We're going to be talking about both Clue 3 and Clue 4, share our progress, and talk about what you like about this MKAL, what's difficult about this MKAL. Mandy, do you want to start?
What I like about it is none of the clues have been overwhelming as compared to last year.
Right.
And apart from the slightly rocky start, but even with that, I managed to get the second repeat done. I'd completely completed the first version, and I managed to get the second one done in plenty of time to start clue 2.
Mm-hmm.
And each clue is quite easy. I do feel that it's should have a marriage proposal every time you do a dip 5 row, because it takes about an hour and a half. It's a big commitment, but
did you try to do this swatch for clue for like the deep 5? Like Stephen recommended to try it with some scrap yarn.
no, I just went for it, and I thought if I can't get it in the first few goes, I'll go back and do a swatch. But it's pretty easy. It's
Right.
just trying to get the tension right, and it's, I think once you swatch it, any variations in tension, or not swatch it, block it. Once you do that, any variations in tension will probably even out anyway. But it's not hard. It's just extremely time consuming.
It's very time. So today I had to go with my youngest son to an archery range, and it's like an hour in traffic to get there, and he wanted to update his arrows and he wanted to shoot a little bit. So I was stuck there for like hour and a half, and it took me that hour and a half to knit the first deep 5 row.
Yes, exactly. And I timed myself yesterday, and it took me an hour and a half to knit the first dip 5. I just completed the second dip 5 about 10 minutes before we started, and I started that last night and did it this morning. And even though I know what I'm doing, it still took about an hour and a half.
Right. So I was wondering if it gets faster like as you go, because you're getting used to it.
Yeah, probably marginally, but it's just like you're knitting 990 odd stitches, so it's no wonder it takes a while. And it's not just knitting them, you're sort of dragging the wool up and making sure it's nice and even, blah blah. So
right. I mean, I find also that like finding that first 5 stitches down to deep, right?
yes,
That's like the
yeah,
most time consuming, because after that it's sort of easy to like find the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1. It goes faster, but like that first 5 somehow like doesn't go
yeah.
faster for me.
And when you're doing the second one, I started off and I couldn't quite work it out, so I went back and just watched that little segment, and I realised I was starting 1 row too high compared to the previous dip 5. And as soon as I worked that out, it's actually easier because you know exactly where to go.
Right.
Because it's quite obvious. Once you know where to go, it's quite obvious, and then you haven't got to be worried about counting. You can just go to that spot and away you go.
Do you like the way it looks?
Yes, I think it'll look even better when it's not all scrunched up on the needle. But I certainly liked it looking on his, like when he did the video. I
Right.
thought it was very unusual. It's not a stitch I'll be in any rush to include in my portfolio all the time. I don't want to die of old age before I finish anything.
So
But it's interesting to do.
right. Did you like the third clue? What did you think about this stitch in the third clue?
I enjoyed the third clue. It took me a while to work out. There's a certain look that it has when, especially it's the pearl side that used to trip me up because I'd be picking up the wrong stitches. But
Right.
after a while, I learned that it's hard to explain, but it should have a certain look to the stitches. And if they didn't look like that, stop and go back because you've made a mistake somewhere. And once I realised that, it became faster and faster and faster, and I quite enjoyed it, actually. I probably enjoyed it more than I'm enjoying this one, only because this one's such a time commitment to do the row.
Well, do you think you're gonna go with fringes, or do you think you're just gonna keep it clean at the edge there?
You mean the tassel-y thingies?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not a tassel person. No. I think I'll pass on the tassels. Depending on how it looks when I've done what he suggests here, and I've got plenty of yarn, even despite having done the first clue completely twice. I think I may do an extra row or two, or I may not if I'm really sick of it by then.
Right. Are you happy with the size of this shawl?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in Australia, I don't really need a huge, great big shawl to swaddle up in, because you really only wear them sort of around your neck. Having said that, we had a really cold day last Friday. It was absolutely freezing, but and considering it's meant to be summer, but yeah, no, I think it'll be fine once it blocks out. It's, again, it's all scrunched up on the needles at the minute, but once it blocks out, it'll be fine.
Do you think you're gonna miss the MKAL?
Yeah, yes. I mean, I've got plenty of other things to be going on with, but I do enjoy doing it. It's just what I do with all these shawls at the end of it, because there's not that much call for them here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Does anybody want to share their progress? Show us where you are. Janet, do you want to unmute yourself?
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you, Erin?
It's sort of late evening for me, but like morning anyway.
Yeah. Thank you. I've started the first row of clue 4, and yeah, it took me 2 hours to do. But I'm enjoying it. It's my first one, so I've got no expectations.
Do you think you're gonna have enough yarn to finish the 4th clue?
Yeah. I've got 35 grams of color 1 left, and I think we've still got that takes the last one. I've got one more row of color B too, and then I'll weigh that, and then I'll see how much it's taken.
Right.
No, but I'm sure I've got plenty.
Are you enjoying the 4th clue? Like, do you like the look of it?
Yeah, I think it's great. I've really enjoyed. I'll definitely be doing more of his mystery knit-alongs or whatever. I did his sock, the sock one.
Right, the sock one.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the community that it creates, because I don't have many knitter friends around. They all think I'm crazy.
Right.
But no, I'm absolutely love it. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, it does take a long time. And all the pointers that the other lady said, is right. Once you get going with that first sort of dip stitch, the others come easy.
Right. Are you gonna do the fringe? Do you think you're gonna go do the fringe?
I'm also not a fringe person, but on Stephen, everything looks fabulous.
It does, doesn't it?
So I'm not too sure. I'll give it a try. I mean, you can always, pull it out.
Right.
But I may do another 1 or 2 rows. And mine kind of got a slight variegated bluey green that goes with the other greens and blues. And I may do that as my last, just to kind of border it off.
Right. What was your favorite part about the MKAL?
Well, I love clue 3. I kind of got that quite easily. And just joining in on all the, the sort of these Zooms, and I've joined another group from the South African ladies. and it's been really great. It's just it's a lovely community out there. Didn't realize, and I enjoyed your Rhinebeck videos.
Oh, thank you.
I never knew about all of that, so it's just been a huge learning curve, which has been really nice.
Well, if you guys want to hear something funny, the fun fact, right? I first time learned about Rhinebeck from a friend of mine who lives in Australia. And she told me, like, are you planning to go to Rhinebeck? And I was like, what's Rhinebeck? And that's how I learned about it. So we all teach each other something new.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And I've always only been a sock knitter, and I've, kind of really got into, and then I saw all this Nitty Natty and Earth Tones Girl, and all of them went, and it must have been like food for the soul for the ladies. Must be lovely.
It was really nice to see like some people that I've met on Instagram and then or YouTube, and like to meet them in real life. It really felt surreal, you know.
But that shawl that you wore, Irina, was magnificent.
Thank you. That was Brioche Cloak by Julie Knits in Paris, and that shawl stopped some traffic there. It
was beautiful. Was it a difficult one?
It's not the brioche kind of pattern that I would advise to people who just learning brioche, because there's a lot of increases, decreases, and like decrease 5 stitches and increase five stitches. So there was like a lot of increases and decreases going on, but it's also a pattern that goes sort of in the rounds, so it repeats itself. So like if you can do the first round, you're probably golden for the whole show. It just takes a little attention. Like you can't really watch Netflix and need that show. Like you better pay attention to that.
Yeah, and I want to try and finish this by the 1st of November, because I'm joining another crochet along by a lady in Iceland. I don't know if you've heard of her, Tina. No, she does mosaic. She does the most amazing blankets and shawls and that, and she's got a new it's called the Happy Cal, that's happening crochet along on the 1st.
So you think you're going to be done by November 1st?
If my daughter doesn't have her baby this weekend, yes.
Well, if she does, best of luck to her with that, and congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, because then I'll be babysitting the little granddaughter that I had last week that interrupted my Zoom calls.
Well, thank you so very much. Joanne, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, I'm still working on clue 3. So are
you on the first part or on the second half?
First part, yeah. I found that it wasn't so easy to knit when there was anybody else around. So that severely impacted my knitting time.
Yeah.
But I just, I was listening to, it might have been your Wednesday Zoom, and I think it was there that somebody said that they on the wrong side rows they did a yarn over before they did the carrying stitches. So I thought, okay, I'll try that. So I tried that on my stripe, which was the second half of the stripes going to the right. And I thought, oh yeah, that works quite well. But when I came around to the next going left row, it didn't work nearly so well. So that got me into a bit of a mess earlier this morning. But then when I got that sorted and was coming back the next time, I thought, I wonder if I can knit backwards. So I'm working on the right side, but I'm purling backwards. I learned that technique when I was doing an entrelac cast a few years ago. And while I've only done 3/4 of a row with that, I think I'm going to try and perfect that, because I think being able to see what you're doing with your floats when you're on the wrong side, because I'll actually be looking at the right side, I think that might be easier. But it's quite slow, and I kind of feel like I really want to do something in stocking stitch that's really fast. So when I get to the end of this triangle, I might actually take a week off and do something else and then come back to it. But I did swatch the new Clue just to see how that looks and how it works, and I think it will be very time consuming. So that's my little swatch there. I have seen dip stitch and a couple of other things. I haven't actually knitted it before, but they were going straight down rather than going on the angle like these ones are. So I think with the different colors of yarn, it'll look really pretty.
Great. Have you looked at the video? Like, have you seen the finished shawl? Like, are you?
Yes.
It's not a mystery to you.
No. No, when the new Clue comes out, I knit with Stephen while he's knitting the Clue and watch it all the way through. I like to sort of see where I'm going. I know with shawlography, I wasn't a fan of the diagonal of the last Clue. So, you know, I was still a wee bit behind everybody else. But then I changed to one of his, I bought another one of his patterns and did the Pierre shawl border on it. And I really love that.
So do you ever stress out about not finishing the Clue on time, or are you at peace with being team embrace your pace?
I have to be at peace with a team embrace your pace, because otherwise I'd have to take 4 weeks off work in order to get through it all. And I mean, last year I was finishing Clue 1 when everybody else was finishing Clue 4. So it's like, okay, let's just go with the flow. We're learning lots of things, we're having fun knitting. So yeah, I'm not sure this one's going to be quite big enough when it's finished, but because I've incorporated, I've got 3 of my teal colors and 3 grays, and then I bought another 2 mohairs, so I will have enough to keep going or to add something on the outside if necessary.
Did you expect a larger shawl?
Sort of, but then I did sort of in the back of my mind think there's only 4 balls, whereas the previous 2 years we've had 5 skeins of yarn. Right. And so I thought, well, in that case it probably won't be quite as big. But yeah, my shawlography I think didn't turn out quite as big as everybody else's, because when we were doing the little I-cord loops that people call shrimps, I decided they were a bit ridiculous, so I only did mine 6 rows long instead of 10. And I think that probably meant that my shawl didn't block out as much as everybody else's, but I'm toying with the idea of reknitting that.
Well, do you think you're gonna change anything about this pattern?
If anything, I'd love to have some brioche on the edge to sort of make it that little bit bigger. And I think with 2 colors, it might look like fringe, sort of.
Right.
So I'll see when I get there. I must admit, I'd never done brioche until we did shawlography. And while he was telling us how to do it, I actually cast on a swatch. And every time he said, this is how you fix a mistake, I would make that mistake and then fix it. So I felt that was really good.
Right. Well, thank you. Tanya, would you like to mute yourself?
Hey, Irina.
Hi.
Well, I've been waiting on my mohair to come in. I was doing all my test knitting while I was waiting. But so I decided to do my eyelets. So I'm still on Clue 2. I decided to do my eyelets just with the mohair. So it's turning out really fun. I've got like just a little, here, I'll show the other end. It's coming out.
Oh, I love that. It's like very airy.
Yeah. It's itchy as all get out, though, I'll tell you.
Well, hopefully it's gonna soften up when you wash it. Have you ever tried to wash your knits with the hair conditioning?
I haven't tried the conditioner, but I think I might.
Yes, so like one time I bought some Peruvian wool and it looked really beautiful in the picture, but when I got it, it was like super itchy. To even like knit with it, it felt like I felt like my hands were like getting irritated. And then I soaked it in hair conditioning. I saw it somewhere and it became like really soft and pliable. So you might want to try that because
Yeah,
it's
I might.
to like calm the fibers.
I keep getting it in my eyes and I'm just feel like I'm covered in it.
Well, when I was at Rhinebeck, one of the days I wore a sweater that I knitted and it had mohair in it. Let me tell you, my bag was covered with it, my car was covered in it, like my food was covered in it. So it was like, it depends on the mohair. Some mohair is like less shady than the one that I knitted with, but that one was like everywhere.
It's the risk we take.
Right. Catherine, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi.
Hi.
I thought I would try and come here. I got home at like 5 after 6, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Because I am working tomorrow and it's a Zoom meeting. So I'll be on my mainframe at work, but I thought I would bring my laptop to see whether I'm sort of in the background for most of that meeting. So I thought I would try and see whether I could get another Zoom up on the laptop and try and do 2 Zooms sort of simultaneously, but I'm not positive it's going to happen. So anyway, I'm still on clue 3, but I've only finished 2 full stripes. But here's what they look like so far. So I'm very pleased. It's still fiddly. Trying to make sure that I've got enough tension, but not too much tension. And every once in a while I get to the end of the row and I have the wrong stitch count. So I did something wrong somewhere and I have to go back. I've either slipped 3 or I've knitted 5 or purled 5 or done something stupid, but I like the way it's going to turn out. I haven't seen clue 4 yet. I did try and check out Linda's Instagram because she's got the same color kit. Right. So when she posts what her clue looks like, I know what mine should look like. But hers wasn't up yet as of this afternoon, and work, I've been slammed with work this week, so it's been really impacting my ability to knit. And I was really hoping to have this done by the end of my sort of few days off in November, so I could wear it to a conference on the Saturday, Sunday after the Remembrance Day long weekend. But if I can't wear it there, I'll wear some other shawl and I'll wear it later. But that's my hope. Last year, I didn't finish Twists and Turns until December 6th. And yeah, when I'm wearing, I wear a lot of black. And if I'm wearing black sweatpants and I'm knitting with my mohair, the mohair I did the middle 2 stripes, by the way, with the middle 2 of the second stripe, the red, lipstick red and the red velvet have mohair embedded in them. So they're a little fuzzier than the others. And I do have a little bit of red shedding mohair on my sweater afterwards, but oh well, the cost of looking fabulous.
I want to thank you personally for joining me on all these Zooms, because I know you half of the time, or actually most of the time, you're doing it from work and you'll find the 5 minutes to join us. And I really appreciate all the effort you put into being part of this community. So thank you so much.
Well, I love being in this group of people from all over the world. I'm really miffed that I won't be able to join you on Thursday because I am in a very important in-person meeting that's going to go through the whole morning, and so unfortunately I can't get out of that or get around it. But I've been lucky enough that if I can come in and log on and do my little bit, then when I'm muted, if the phone rings, I can answer the phone. If an email comes in, I can answer the email. And then like part of it's on my lunch hour, so it works out. It's just worked out. But it's been really great listening to people and seeing the same faces meeting after meeting. And I feel like I've really gotten to know you and Martin a lot more. And I really enjoy listening to you and Martin. Both, you're different, but you're both interesting, and I'm glad. And I'm following Toby Knits, and so it's been a really great journey. So I really appreciate what you're doing, because this takes a lot of work for you.
Thank you. Pam, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hi.
Happy birthday for Wednesday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It was mine on Thursday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. So this is my, I've been watching all your videos too, by the way, and just not ever been able to join. So this is my first time. I'm still up to clue 2, and this is my third mystery knit along, and yeah, I'm loving it so far. So yeah, it's really good.
Have you seen other clues? Have you seen the third and the fourth?
Oh yeah, I'm terrible. As soon as it comes out, I'm straight to the end of the video to see what it looks like. I can't wait.
So what did you think about the next 2 clues? Like, are you excited about them?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'm not a fringy person either. So I'm each one that I've done in the past, I've modified as well. And so I'm thinking of how I'm going to modify it. So yeah,
so give me some ideas. What are you thinking about?
Well, I don't know. So like, I don't like the fringe, but I also don't like the way that clue 4 finishes. So 2 years ago when I did, I'll show you my shawl that I did, and I don't know if you can see it, but I did the step border instead of just the plain border. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I could do the same thing so that it's got more of maybe a scalloped edge. I don't know. I haven't done clue 4, so I don't know what. So I'm waiting to see. Like, I'm on Instagram and I follow everybody on Instagram, and I'm like, I'll see what other people do and then decide from there. So yeah.
Were you surprised by the shape of it, like as it was emerging? Did you see
it? No, I actually thought that that's where it might go, because I thought if you did it as a triangle, the last clue, it would have been just a small piece. And I thought, no, it's got to go wider as well as down. So I wasn't at all surprised by that. Yeah, and yeah, but it's, yeah, I just love it because I think I learn so much. Each time I do it, I learn so much.
Right. Was there some new technique for you in this one?
Yes. So in clue 2, doing the eyelets, and I've chosen to do mine with Mohair as well. So that, I mean, I've worked with Mohair before and stuff, but I've not really done the eyelets like that. So so that's new, and I'm guessing 3 and 4 are going to be new stitches for me as well. So yeah. Do you want me to show it?
Oh, sure. Let's do it.
Show my progress so far.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So, and I've just done the Mohair.
Regular colors. This is something you like gravitate towards, or did you go outside of your comfort zone with it?
This is a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but yeah, I just wanted something a little bit more muted, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you do last year for colors?
Actually similar colors. I didn't finish last year because I didn't like it. So that's my colors from last year. So I try and do different things every year. I'm not a super bright person. Oh, well, that sounds terrible. I don't like, I mean, I do, yeah, I don't have a lot of brights in my wardrobe.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, thank you. Denise, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I just wanted to say, it looks like 3 of us have got the same kit. I'm still on, I've only just finished half of clue 3. But I think clue 4 is beautiful and just wraps it up perfectly. I love the shawl. And I'm in almost the top of New Zealand, so it's a pretty temperate climate. Really, we don't wear shawls or need shawls. So I'm actually saying, oh, there we are. Yeah, so I've really enjoyed it. And what I enjoy the most, Verena, is the community. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Can you show us yours?
Number 3 of this colorway, I think.
I love that.
Yeah. So I think it's great. And I think his designs are incredible.
Do you think you're gonna do the fringe on your shawl?
I think I will, because I think it really suits the shawl. Yeah. And someone else said it looks fabulous on Stephen. But
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I wanna try it, but the idea of putting fringe on that entire bottom border, like really, I'm not looking forward to that somehow. Like I think I like the way it looks, but that's like a daunting task for me, you know, think about it.
True. Let's see when we get there. But something funny watching Clue 4, I'd watched the dip stitch row 7, I think it is, and thought, oh, that's fantastic. Then the next row is you have those 900 and something stitches with pull through the back loop. I think I actually yelled at my TV, like, no. But yeah, it'll be fine. It'll get done.
Yeah, as Martin says, it'll get done. Well, thank you. Belinda, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, thank you. I'm a first timer here.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. So nice to be able to join you.
Where are you joining from?
I'm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Welcome.
Thank you. And where am I? I am 7 stripes in on the second half of Clue 3. And I'm loving it.
I actually found it like almost meditative. Like there is something about like those floats at the first corner like drove me a little bit nuts, because somehow I was managing to put them on the back side instead of the front side. But then like the second triangles went easier, and I found like somehow like my hands knew what to do by then.
Yeah, this clue's really slowed me down. I was keeping up until this one, because you have to be intentional about every stitch. And it's not a good knit group project. I had to think so many times.
Did you have any trouble with the tension in that clue?
Yeah, I kind of think I might have wanted to go up a needle size if I were to do it again, but it's hard to say without knowing how the rest of it's going to connect, right? I mean, I know how it's going to connect, but how the rest of it's going to affect the tension, it's hard to say. But yeah, I had trouble with the tension.
Does that bother you that like it's not mystery for you anymore, that now you know what it's gonna look like?
Well, no, I was gonna wait and not look at Clue 4, but then as soon as it came out, I had to go watch his video. I've been watching his videos for a couple of years now, watching all the tutorials, but it's the first time I've joined in. Yeah,
well, what made you join in?
Oh, well, I decided back in January that I was going to do it this year. And I had been collecting from our local yarn store the Color of the Month yarns, thinking that I was going to make a combination of those. And turned out they were all variegated yarns that weren't working.
Right.
But these are from Canadian dyers, local Canadian dyers. And I'm loving the combination I chose.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So are you gonna, like, do you think you're gonna go with the fringe?
I think I will. I mean, I have lots of yarn. My skeins are 115 grams each.
Okay, so you're not concerned about running out of
no, and I'll probably rip out the first version and use those for the tassels. And like someone else said, if you don't like it, you can take them back out again, right?
Right.
I think it's only 98 tassels, right?
Yeah, it sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
But you have to pre-measure and put them in colors somehow. And
yeah.
What can possibly go wrong?
I have a mess all over the floor and the cat will come steal it. That's what'll go wrong.
Well, keep us posted. I'm curious to see what you'll think about the next clue and those tassels, how it's gonna go for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Joy, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, good evening, Irina. Belated happy birthday to you and to Pam.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I did the mohair there, and I added sparkles and I added beads. And I was worrying needlessly because when I was crocheting my Clue 1, it was quite small, but then it grew once I reached my 85 stitches on one side. I'm working on clue 2 at the moment because work got in the way.
Yeah.
And so I'm about maybe 45% into clue 2. I've seen clue 3, clue 4. Whenever the video comes out, I'm the same. I go towards the end. I don't want surprise. The mystery for me is whether I'm going to finish the shawl or not.
Oh, that's definitely gonna happen at some point. It's just sooner or later, right? Like,
yeah. My first Stephen West shawl was the shawlography, at least the mystery, knit along, and that took me a year to finish. I am a crocheter before I was a knitter, so I was just trying to learn, and that was a challenge, especially with my pace. But in anyway, before Twist and Turns came out, I was rushing to finish it.
I'm actually curious of what you're gonna think about clue 4, because it's like I've seen crochet techniques like that when you go a bit like on the lower levels and like do the deep technique, you know, like I've seen crocheters do that.
Yes, I've done that. I think at one time, the first time I joined this Humans of Westknit, I had a background where, yep, those stitches are pretty common in that piece that I did. Right. So yeah, I've done it before, yes. In crochet, I don't know about knitting, but there's always a first time.
Where did you use the beads and what clue did you use the beads?
Oh, it's in the crochet, somewhere around in my background, somewhere around where there's lighter color. I added my beads there. And then the mohair and the sparkle, I did it together. So I have something that is quite lighter. Oops. So the lighter, that's mohair and sparkle. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. And then I'm going, instead of ABCD, I go from dark to light to dark. So I'm not following Steven's ABCD.
Do you think you're going to continue with the beads?
Yes. I'll find a way to add it back in.
And what's your feeling about the fringe?
Not a fringe person. It's for me, I find it challenging to keep them all neat and tidy. Right. When I'm wearing something. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing another border, maybe I'm going back to crochet.
Oh, interesting. That would be like, yeah, bringing it back to
where I started.
Circle, you know. Yeah.
Yes. And add all sparkles, beads, and mohair.
Right. Well, thank you. Does anybody else want to share their progress? Okay, go for it.
There you go. It's a bit hard because I'm purling back now. Right. And for the lady who's struggling with the idea of purling through the back of the loop, I don't know if have you done that bit yet?
No, I haven't. I just finished that first.
Okay. Well, the good news is because the stitches are a bit looser, the purling through the back of the loop is quite easy.
I mean, I'm not afraid of, like, the thing is, like,
no.
Because I'm a combination continental knitter, I can knit through the back loop, I can purl through the back loop, like nothing is foreign to me in the world of, like, through which direction you're purling or knitting, because like in continental, it's always like through the leg of the stitch that's closest to your right hand needle. So to me, like, you know, that doesn't scare me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't scare me either, because I knitted an entire lace jumper that I had to purl through the back of the loop a lot, and that got me past that. I got over myself. But with this one, because it's 2 stitches, I was thinking, oh, that's going to be a bit of a pain, but it actually is quite easy because you've got all those big long loops, the stitches stretch out, and it's quite easy to get in behind, for me, because I'm doing it the conventional way, to do the purl through the back of the loop. So so anyway, there's what you can see of mine. It's a bit, as I said, and I sort of went a bit off-piste in the centre as well, because I got sick of just doing garter, so I did a few stocking stitch ones, and then I did fortuitously on the last round, I did lace. I just did some eyelets for fun. Yeah, so I'm just purling back on my second lot of dip stitch now.
It looks beautiful. So, I really like your colors. They're like very...
Yes, I got them. My local dyer here in Australia, Black Wattle Yarn, was putting out kits. And every year I tell myself, I'm going to go for something neutral this year. And then all of a sudden, oh, shiny things. I go for the colour again.
Right.
Anyway, that was all I wanted to say for that poor lady who was struggling with the idea of doing purling through the back of the loop. It's not too bad.
Right, right. Thank you. Christine, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, Irina.
Hi.
I'm up to row 17 of clue 4. So I don't know whether you can see it, and I'm just, I'm really enjoying clue 4.
Did it take you forever also, like to do those dips?
Yes. I think the second...
It wasn't just Mandy and me, right? Like it's everybody's...
It takes a long time. Yeah, I think the second row was a little bit quicker, but not much.
Right.
Yeah,
taking forever. Are you thinking of going with the fringe on that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And you have enough yarn for it?
I do. The yarn I'm using, I think, must be a light fingering. It's like 425 meters for the 100 grams. So I'll have plenty of yarn. And I love a fringe, so it'll definitely have fringe. I'm just wondering if it's going to be wide enough, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned that it's like a little snug.
Yeah. When I got to the end of clue 3, I sort of held it out, and I wrapped it around myself, and it just feels a bit short. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see what other people are going to do.
Right.
If they're going to add
I'm hoping it's going to block out. Like if you aggressively block it, I'm hoping it's going to get bigger. But like I'm sort of wondering the same thing.
I don't know how much it will block, because like that clue 3 is quite dense.
Right.
So I don't know. And it's hard to tell now because there's so many stitches bunched up on the needle.
Right. And I actually have, like, mine is not really bunched because I have 60-inch cord, so it's pretty spread out, like but I'm still a little bit concerned about how it's gonna, like, how big it's gonna block. And I'm usually like very loose knitter, so like when Steven said it's gonna be a like generous size shawl, I was like, oh my, it's gonna be like another one of those 2.5 meter ones. But I don't see it coming that way, so we'll see.
So are you going to do the extra rows of clue 4?
I feel like I sort of want to see how fast I'm gonna get tired of the dipping.
Yeah,
because like it a little, like, I like the way it looks. Like I feel like it's very neat. I actually took a picture of it today just because I like the way that first dip was looking, but I can't say that I was like truly enjoying knitting the dip row.
No, I'm glad when the dip row's over.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it's to me it was a little bit of like dental cleaning. It's something you have to do, but you definitely don't enjoy it. So it's like, to me that felt like in that category. I enjoyed the third clue more than I'm enjoying the dips.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I want to show you guys a gift I got yesterday. So if you remember, like if you joined the previous Zooms, I was saying how like the center of the shawl reminds me of a little flower, and I was thinking of crocheting a little flower or something. Like I felt like I wanted some sort of embellishment. And yesterday, every Thursday night, my local yarn shop has knit nights. So I usually go there, and there's like a bunch of women who come together and they knit, and I'm still waiting for some of the guys to join. Like I'm hoping one day it's gonna be not just women, but it's a lovely shop. It's new shop. They just started in May. They opened in May. And there are a lot of knitwear designers somehow who come to the knit night. And one of them is Jerry. So she designs some knitwear, but she also does quilting and she does sewing. And she made this thing that she gave me, this little brooch. And if you look at it, it's
gorgeous.
It's absolutely matching the colors. And she didn't even think about that I'm gonna put it on the show. But it's like, it's this tiny, tiny beading. And I really love it. So this is my, basically like, that's how it's gonna look. So I was like very surprised and pleased by like, and I was like, oh, now I don't have to crochet the flower. I just can put this little brooch in there, and that's going to be the embellishment for this show. So this was yesterday. They threw a surprise birthday party for me. So I came there and they had a cake and they had some flowers, and I got this gift. And Jerry also made me a project bag, and it was this Cave Fawcett's fabric. And if you haven't seen Cave Fawcett, like I interviewed him recently in September on my channel. And if you will only watch one interview on my channel, I urge you to watch that one, because that one was unforgettable for me. And so I was like really touched to see her making this project bag with Cave's fabric. Does anybody else want to share the project? Joanne?
Can I share my Cave Fawcett quilt that I have here
please.
waiting to be finished?
Please.
Sorry, I'm not, oh, whoops. I can't see myself in the screen. So it, Kev came to New Zealand in 2018. And so I went and attended one of his lectures and bought a charm square. It's been folded, so it's yeah, so that's it's about 1.20 meters square. So that's my but I have knitted a number of Cave Fawcett jackets from previous years, like the 1990s. I have several of his books, and I absolutely loved, I think that interview of yours with him is the best interview with him I've ever seen. Well, lovely.
You're gonna love, because I'm gonna show you now the project bag that Jerry made me. Do you recognize that?
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yes. It's more, I don't know that I have that one in my quilt, but it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's so exciting.
I was very, and another friend of mine sent me 2 books by Cave Fawcett for my birthday. So it's like, it's really a cave-filled birthday celebration. I'm very happy, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
He's a remarkable fiber artist, and I think like he's probably like 1 in 100 in this, you know, like one of the top artists of this century when it comes to fiber arts.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like Stephen was, even if Stephen doesn't know, he was influenced by Cave Fawcett. I'm sure somewhere, somehow he was.
Yes, yes. Has he ever, have you ever asked Stephen that?
I have not yet, but like if we're gonna have a chance to talk to him, it's gonna be one of the questions probably.
Yeah, he's just, yes. Initially I was very nervous to do any of his shawls, because I thought I couldn't wear those colors. And then in the year of shawlography, it suddenly occurred to me that I would be knitting my colors. And so my shawlography, I actually said, if I can find the colors that I need from Stash, then I'll knit it. So that was lovely that it was such variety of colors that I could actually knit them all from Stash.
I think that's like the brilliant thing about Stephen West designs, that you can really tone it down, or it can be like as bright as you want it to be. So it becomes individual for each one, and they all look different just because of our individual choices and what adjustments we make in that shawl.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being part of this Mystery Knit Along with Me. So we're gonna have 2 more Zoom meetings, and that's gonna be the end of this year's MKAL. So because some of you won't be able to join tomorrow or Wednesday because it's gonna be nighttime in Australia, I want to thank you for joining me and being and sharing your projects and being part of that, because it meant so much, like seeing faces from last year and meeting some new friends. It really meant a lot. And I met some of the people from Humans of Westknits from last year and this year at Rhinebeck, and it was the sweetest feeling. Like it was just amazing. Like meeting you guys is just like feeling like I'm meeting old friends. So I'm so glad that you're a part of this Zoom, part of this community. I hope you can join the next 2 Zooms. So tomorrow one is at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then the last Zoom is going to be on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you can join, please join. I'd like to see the final progress on, and even if you didn't finish, like I still want to see the progress and hear your thoughts about it. And until next time, happy crafting. Thank you for joining me.